It's been hacked into. In a good way. It was hacked into by me. It's my hardware. I'm allowed to technically just log in, which is actually what I did. I'll show you that it got logged in. We're still working on making this a little bit better, so I don't want to release the procedure in the wild yet, but if you join us on Toads, we will talk all about it. There's a link for Toads Discord in the description down below. There's a link to get this radio. I have upgraded my opinion from a, not bad, to a strong buy, because now this has married a couple of things that I've always wanted to have. This is now a portable Linux computer with an HF radio attached to it. That opens up a whole lot of gates to a whole lot of things that I wanted to have opened up in the hobby. So here we are. Come take a look over my shoulder. Let's get this thing done. All right, so just like in my first video about this, I'm going to use the Raspberry Pi. Look at that glare. That's fantastic. I don't see that glare in my life. Well, I guess I do. I'm going to use Raspberry Pi. This is a Model 3B Plus. It doesn't really matter what model it is because all I'm doing is using it for the serial console. This is the cable that comes with the 6100. Plugged into the USB-C port, so it's USB-C to USB-B, plugged into the Raspberry Pi. It's just a serial cable. The CH430 chip is built into the radio. The radio doesn't have anything else plugged into it. Nothing hiding there, nothing going on there. The Raspberry Pi itself is plugged into the power strip. That's that. And then I've got this old MacBook Air, which I'm using just to get into a shell prompt because Raspberry Pis don't have screens and keyboards built in. So let's get right up to the screen here without knocking the camera over, and I'll show you what I'm working with. So let's SSH into the Pi, and then let's set the TTY. So STTY-F/dev/TTY-ACM0 CS8 per MB. This is the configuration of the serial port, so 8 stop bits, 1 data bit, 1 no parity, whatever. I don't know what the answers are. I looked it up a while ago, and here I am. You get 2 ports. You get ACM0 and ACM1. If you're on a Windows machine, it might be COM6 and COM7. It might be COM2 and COM3. It doesn't kind of matter which one it is. It's just the lower one of whatever it happens to be named. When I plugged the radio directly into the MacBook Air, I got gibberish. But I also got different port numbers. It was ACM 1 and 2 instead of ACM 0 and 1. The point I'm trying to make, that was a long story to get out to just this nonsense. Use the lower of the 2 ports. There, I said it. Use the lower of the 2 ports. And then we're going to run screen. Not the world's best or worst terminal emulator. It's just the one I happen to have handy. Again, same port that we just set up. And 115.200 is your baud rate. So you do that. You press enter so that you wake up the radio and the 2 of them start talking. What happened here is the login prompt was on the screen that I wasn't looking at, and I pressed enter without typing in a username, and I got the password prompt without the username that I typed in. So I'm going to press enter again, which is going to give me a login incorrect because I gave it no username and password. It's going to give me the login prompt. I'm going to go ahead and turn the radio off, and you'll see it power down over here. Hey, that looks a lot like Linux. I wonder what we can do now that we know that this thing looks a lot like Linux. Let's turn the radio back on. And this is your startup sequence. I showed you this in a previous video. And we're going to get a prompt here in a second. We've got a prompt. Great. Root. And then I'm going to type in my password, which is not the password. It's just my password. And now I've got root access to the system. And I can run Linux commands. Hey, look, there's some stuff there. I made a test folder the other day so I can mount file systems that aren't already mounted. Let's look at the file systems that are mounted. We've got an ext4 file system mounted on slash, which was /dev/root, cat/etsy/fs tab. Hey, look, there's dev root, blah, blah, blah. It's a volume label. cd/ls. There's a bunch of stuff that's on here. Now I'm logged in. Control A bracket, up arrow. Bunch of stuff that's listening. So it's got a web server running like I talked about. It's got an FTP server running. You guys saw that. It's got an SSH server running. Web server's on port 80, FTP server's on 21, and the SSH server's on port 22. Just exactly where you'd expect them to be. It's got some UDP sockets on port 123. So what else do you want to know? cat/proc/CPU info, pipe to head. It's an ARM v7 processor. Technically, it is a Sun Z All-Winner A33 R16 running at 1.5 gigahertz. It is a quad core, so we run the whole head. We run the whole CPU info with no head. And we've got 0, 1, 2, 3 processors, generic DT-based system. Think of this kind of as a Raspberry Pi attached to an HF rig. That's where I'm going with this. cat/proc/meminfo. And let's see, let's scroll back up to the top. And at the top, we've got... Hey, look at that, 1 gig of RAM. Okay, what else do we have? Is DF working? DF is working. So it says it is a 7 gig root partition. There's actually a 15 gig MMC chip in here. And on the 15 gig MMC chip is also the boot information and probably a complete backup copy, because that's how embedded devices work, so you can't really brick them all that easy. But we're in, this is it, and I just wanted to show you how that works. There's not much that we can do just yet, but this is only the beginning, folks. So this is pretty awesome stuff. This thing just got a whole lot more fun. I can now see why it does not have the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth working. It's because the kernel drivers are missing. So I've got a lot more work cut out for me, a lot of work ahead of me. I want to get Wi-Fi drivers installed and get this thing online on the network. But then what do you do with it? Well, there's no reason why you can't run any kind of software on this that you want if you're smart enough to do so. And right now I'm not smart enough to do so. I got to go do some research and figure it all out. Join us on the Toads Discord. We've got a hacking SDRs channel over there where we're talking all about this radio and all about the hacking. And that's where I worked with a couple of other awesome hams out there. Don N5SKT, thank you very much. And W1WRA, thank you as well. And then, of course, after that was done, Ham Radio Dude and I spent a whole bunch of time hacking away at this thing. There is a video right over there that I think you will enjoy. Otherwise, thanks for being awesome.